We continue now at the top of Daf Pei Daled Amud Beis in Mesechet Kesubos. This is Kesubos Daf 84b. The Gemara asks, Rabbi Akiva Tfisa lo mahanya klal. It seems like from the previous Amud, Rabbi Akiva is saying that you're never able, let's say you have a situation of a creditor and a debtor, so the creditor is never able to grab what is owed to him if there's somebody else that's owed the money that really comes first, that's primary. Is that really true? Does Rabbi Akiva really say that Tfisa doesn't work at all in such a situation? And the Gemara says, Amar Rava says, Amar Rav Nachman, the Rav Nachman says, V'hu tafas mechayim. No, it is going to work in one scenario. Let's say you have a situation of a creditor and a debtor. So in such, if the situation is where the person who owes the debt is still alive, so then Tfisa would actually work according to Rabbi Akiva. It's in situations where the person who owes the debt has died, and so now you're taking away from that person's inheritors. So in such a situation, you're taking, let's say, from the Yisomim, there the Tfisa is not going to be effective according to Rabbi Akiva. And the Gemara continues with Rabbi Tarfon demon chihechen. Now, according to Rabbi Tarfon, who said that the tfisa is going to be effective, let's say you had a situation of peiros telushin, and you had various people who were owed the money. You had a wife, you had creditors who were owed the money, and then you also had yarshim who were owed the money. So Rabbi Tarfon said that tfisa is going to work. So where exactly are these detached fruits? So Rav Shmuel, Damri Tarvai, Rav and Shmuel, they both say it has to be the case where they are sitting in Rishus Harabim. Avol besimta lo, but they're in a side, a corner alley near the Rishus Harabim. So in such a situation, kinyanim can be made automatically, and therefore the yarshim are going to do the kinyan, because wherever it is, the yarshim who are primary, they have an automatic kinyan. It doesn't matter if somebody else goes ahead and tries to be tofes. Let's say the wife tries to be tofes, that is not going to be effective. As Rashi over here says, the manchi heicha hanach peros to come Rabbi Tarfon, the v'shas misa lo zachu behen yarshim. What's Rabbi Tarfon saying? He's saying at the moment the person died, the yarshim don't get it automatically with these peros. Ela yizka behen hakodim. Rather, the person who comes first, he's going to get it. Avol besimta lo. So again, Rav and Shmuel are saying in a simta that's not true. It's going to go straight to the yarshim. Lo am Rabbi Tarfon kol hakodim zachar. Rabbi Tarfon would not say in a simta whoever comes first gets it. Dikevan de makam haroy lekinyanu. Since it's an area where kinyanim are easily made, kinaminan bialma de meshicha kanya hasam, like we say in general, that if you do meshicha, you pull an object over there, it's a kinyan. Afilu lamandamer b'rishus harabim lo. Even though there's a mandamer there that by rishus harabim meshicha doesn't work. So therefore, in such a situation, lo kanya. So ain't a makam hefker. It's not a makam hefker. V'zachu ben yarshin mishas misa. So according to Rav and Shmuel, in a simta, the yarshim are going to get it immediately at the moment of death. I'm trying to grab it in a simta is going to be like trying to grab it in their own house, which of course will not be effective. That's what Rav and Shmuel say. But Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish Damri Tarvayo, however, Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish, they both say, Afilu b'simta, even in a situation of a simta, anyone who grabs it, whoever grabs it first, is going to receive it. And the Gemara continues, Dun daini Rabbi Tarfon, v'yahadre Reish Lakish l'uvda minayut. So there was a case where some judges, they said like Rabbi Tarfon. In other words, they said that it doesn't necessarily go to the yarshim. And Reish Lakish said, no, we paskin like Rabbi Akiva. And Rabbi Akiva says the yarshim always, they're the primary, they always get it first. And therefore Reish Lakish said we have to reverse the judgment of these judges and paskin instead like Rabbi Akiva. So this goes to the question, who do we paskin like in terms of this situation? Do we paskin like Rabbi Tarfon, that sometimes it's given to the weaker of the claimants, even though it should really, min hadin, it should really go to the yarshim? Or do we say no, do we follow Rabbi Akiva, and we say the yarshim, they're always the ones who get the property? So the Gemara says, Amar le Rabbi Yochanan, so Rabbi Yochanan said to Reish Lakish, Asisa kashal Torah, you're treating the words of Rabbi Akiva like they're halacha l'Moshe Misinai. Even if you paskin against him, we're going to reverse that ruling. And so the Gemara says, Lema b'hakam iflugi, let us say that this machlokas here between Reish Lakish and between Rabbi Yochanan is in the following issue. One of them says that if there's a mistake that's in a Devar Mishnah, so then in such a situation you retract such a mistake. The other one says no, Tabid Dvar Mishnah, if it's an issue that's in a Mishnah, so then Eino Choser, once you've already made the ruling, even if it's a mistaken ruling, you don't reverse that ruling. That's exactly the Machlokas. Reish Lakish said we reverse the ruling. They judge like Rabbi Tarfon, and we reverse it and say it's like Rabbi Akiva. And Rabbi Yochanan says no, you don't go that far. If there was a mistake made with Dvar Mishnah, you're not going to necessarily reverse the ruling. Rashi over here says, Asisa divrei Rabbi Akiva kilo in halach l'Moshe Misinai. You're treating Rabbi Akiva's words like halach l'Moshe Misinai. Shechazaras ma'isa bezdin dailon l'kaim halacha k'mosa l'chatchila. Okay, the halacha, it's enough to say the halacha is like Rabbi Akiva l'chatchila. Aval mishanasa v'nigmar adin ein lanu l'achzor. But once already you pass like Rabbi Tarfon, you shouldn't go back. And this is the issue. B'dvar Mishnah d'kaim on halacha Akiva. Heichad d'yechida palagole. There's a general rule. The halacha really is like Rabbi Akiva, where it's a machlokas between him and one individual. V'avagav delav b'mishnah mamish tanina law. Now, even though this is not actually in a mishnah, this idea, ela shemaita d'amoroyu, it's a teaching from the Amoraim that we paskin like Rabbi Akiva. Amrinan b'sanhedrin dechozer d'amrinan hasam afilut ta b'deravu shmuel amar leyin. So it's not only true in a mishnah. We say again, ta b'dvar mishnah chozer applies even if it's a mistake in something like a statement of Rav and Shmuel. That's also the idea ta b'dvar mishnah chozer. And maybe this is a dvar mishnah. This issue over here is considered to be a dvar mishnah that we paskin like Rabbi Akiva, and that's exactly the machlokas Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish. Rabbi Yochanan says that in such a situation you're not going to reverse the ruling, and Reish Lakish says you are going to reverse the ruling. That's what the Gemara suggests is the machlokas. And the Gemara says, lo no, to kuli alma ta b'dvar mishnah chozer. It could be that everybody agrees that really the ruling should be reversed. If you make a mistake in a Dvar Mishnah, you should reverse that ruling. Here the Machlokas Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan was as follows. Mar savar halacha Rabbi Akiva mechavero v'lo me'rabba. One says the halacha is like Rabbi Akiva when he's arguing with his friend, but not when he's arguing with his Rebbe. And Rabbi Tarfon is his Rebbe. Umar savar halacha afilo me'rabba. And the other one says no, the halacha is like Rabbi Akiva even when he's going against his Rebbe. And that's why Reish Lakish said they pass like Rabbi Tarfon that is incorrect. The halacha is like Rabbi Akiva, even against his Rebbe, and we should reverse the ruling. If you want, I could say another approach to Kuli Alma halacha Rabbi Akiva mechavero v'lo me'rabo. It could be everybody agrees the halacha is like Rabbi Akiva only when he's arguing against his chaver, but not against his Rebbe. And here the machlokas Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish is as follows. Mar savar Rabbi Tarfon Rabo have it. One says Rabbi Tarfon was the Rebbe of Rabbi Akiva, so the halacha should be like Rabbi Tarfon. Umar savar Chavero have it. The other one says no, they were Chaverim, and therefore the halacha should be like Rabbi Akiva. If you want, I could say another approach to Kuli Alma Chavero have. Everybody agrees they were Chaverim. Here the machlokas is as follows. Mar savar halacha itmar. One says the halacha. We say the halacha is like Rabbi Akiva. Umar savar motin itmar. The other one says it's not that the halacha. It's that we lean lechatchila after Rabbi Akiva. But b'di'evid, if we had paskin like Rabbi Tarfon, we would not reverse the ruling. And the Gemara continues. Krive de Rabbi Yochanan tafus para diasmi misimta. The relatives of Rabbi Yochanan, they grabbed the cow of Yisomim of orphans. It was in a simta. They were following the psak of Rabbi Tarfon that tfisa is going to be effective. Also, l'kami de Rabbi Yochanan, they came before Rabbi Yochanan. Amar lu, he said to them, Shaper tafsua, what you did was correct. We paskin like Rabbi Tarfon. Also, l'kami de Rabbi Shimon Lakish. So then they came in front of Rabbi Shimon Lakish. Amar lu, he said to them, no, zilu ahader, you have to return it because really we paskin like Rabbi Akiva. We paskin that tfisa, once the person has died, once the person that owes the money has died, is not going to be effective. Also, l'kami de Rabbi Yochanan. So then they came before Rabbi Yochanan. Amar lu, he said to them, Mo'esa, what can I do? Shekenegdi cholok olai. Somebody who is an equal to me, he argues against me, and therefore I cannot argue. And the Gemara continues, How backward he asked me the tafsi tura minei. There was a case where there was a caretaker of the cattle of Yisomim, and the creditor came and took away one of the oxen. The Baal Chov said, I took it away when the person who owed me money was still alive, and therefore tfisa is going to be effective. We say even according to Rabbi Akiva, tfisa is effective in that case. But the person who took care of the cattle, he said, no, you grabbed it already after the person who owed the money has died, and therefore the tfisa is not going to be effective. Also, l'kami de Rav Nachman, they came before Rav Nachman. Amar Lei said to him, Islach Sadi, the Tafse, do you have witnesses who can prove when you grabbed it away? Amar Lei Lav, when the person grabbed it away from you. Amar Lei said to him, Lav, no, I have no witness. So Amar Lei, so he said back to him, Migo de Yachol Meimar, since the person who grabbed it is able to say, Lakuachu biyadi, that really I purchased it, I didn't take it unlawfully. So Yachol Nami Lemeimar Mechaim Tefisnele. So therefore he's also able to say that I took it, I grabbed it while the person who owed me money was alive, and therefore he said that the creditor is correct in this case, and the tfisa is going to be effective. But the Gemara says, V'amar Reish Lakish, but didn't Reish Lakish say, Hagodros ein lahen chazaka, that when you have godros, when you have animals, these are small animals that wander around, so there is no chazaka in that situation. If you have it in your possession, you can't claim, oh, the fact I have it in my possession is a proof that I got it lawfully, because again, these are things that generally walk around the fields. So how could Rav Nachman say that we're relying on a chazaka over here? We're saying, well, since it's his possession, he can claim that he got it lawfully, therefore he's believed to say that he grabbed it while the person who owed the money was alive. Why should we say that? And the Gemara says, no, Shani Tura de Mesira Laro. It's different by a shore, because that's something that's actually given over and it's watched over by a shepherd. It's not something that just wanders around, and therefore a chazaka will be effective. And the Gemara continues, Devei Nasiya Tafos Amsa di Yasmi Misimta. There was another case where the household of the Nasi, they grabbed a maidservant of Yisomim, and again she was in a simta, so they thought that Tvisa should be effective. Yosef Rabbi Rabbi Chanina bar Papi, Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha, so Rabbi Avon, Rabbi Chanina Papi, and Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha, they were sitting. Yosef, Rabbi Abba Gabayo, and Rabbi Abba was sitting by them. Amar Lui said to them, Shaper Tefisua. He said to them, that is correct. The fact that you grabbed it is correct, because we paskin, like Rabbi Tarfon, the Tfisa works. Amar Luhu Rabbi Abba, so Rabbi Abba said to them, Mishum Devei Nasiyaninu, just because these people are from the house of the Nasi, Mechanfisu Luhu, you're showing them favor. That's not really the halacha. V'hadun Dainik Rabbi Tarfon, we know that there were judges who ruled like Rabbi Tarfon. V'yahadrei Reish Lakish of the Minayo, and Reish Lakish reversed the ruling, because he said the halacha is really like Rabbi Akiva, that the Tfisa is not going to be effective. And the Gemara continues, Yemar Bar Choshu have a masuk beizuzeh, Bahu Gavra, Yemar Bar Choshu, so he was owed money by a particular individual. Shachiv, the person died, V'shavik Arba, and he left over a boat. So Amar Leila Shluche, so Yemar Bar Choshu said to his messenger, Zil Tafsa Nehile, go do Tfisa, go grab it because we're owed the money. So Azal Tafsa, so he went and he grabbed this in order to pay back the debt, in order to retrieve his debt. So Pagu Bei Rav Papa, Rav Huna Breder Rav Yoshua. So Rav Papa and Rav Huna Breder Rav Yoshua, they met him. Amrulei, they said to him, in this case, At Tofiz LeBalchov, B'makom Shechav Le'acherim. You are grabbing on behalf of a Balchov, but it's actually, there are other people who are owed money. So therefore, by you grabbing this item over here, by you grabbing this ship, so it's actually causing other people detriment, and therefore that's not going to be effective. Rashi over here says, Amrle Yemar l'shluchei zil tafsa. Yemar said to his shliach, go and get the boat. Hatofes lebalchov shliach hatofes metaltalin shalova letzorech balchov. So the halacha happens to be that if somebody is a shliach who's grabbing metaltalin of the borrower because he's trying to get it for the balchov, for the creditor, b'makom shechav le'acherim, in a situation where it causes harm to others, meaning shemafsid balechov and acherim betfisaso, that other balechov will have a loss of money because they won't be able to get it. That's what we say. V'yamar Rabbi Yochanan says, Tofis lebalchov b'makom shechav le'acherim. If somebody tries to be tofis for a balchov when it creates a chov for others, so in that situation it should really not be effective. We'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Pei Amud Aleph.